Welcome to 21st Sports Breakdown for Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Atlanta Hawks and the Cleveland Cavaliers in the 2015 NBA playoffs. This is at May 24, 2015 from the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. And this was a tight game. The Hawks were in control early on. It looked like they were actually going to maybe take this game, but then the Cavs started hitting those three-point shots. Shumpert, J.R. Smith, and then Matthew Dellavedova hitting the tray from 29 feet with about a minute left in the first quarter. That made it a three-point game at 24-21, as that was the fourth three-pointer for the Cavs in the first quarter, as they remained hot from downtown as a layover from the last game. But then in the second, we ended up seeing Al Horford dropping an elbow on Dellavedova. It looked like something out of WWE. Looked like some vintage Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh yeah, coming down with the elbow drop, brother. And he got kicked out the game. That was a flagrant too, as it should have been. I mean, it was pretty deliberate, pretty obvious if you saw the replay on that one. I actually was thinking about making a wrestling match between the two and popping that up on the channel, so keep an eye out for that. But Dellavedova, though, even getting that elbow dropped on him, that wouldn't stop him from hitting his shots, and he ended up hitting a three with about a minute left before halftime. That made it a one-point game, and then after a technical foul on Dellavedova, Teague hits the tech, and then Dellavedova ends up getting fouled, and he ends up missing the first, making the second. So it remained a one-point game, 49-48 at halftime. Then in the third quarter, it's all about Dellavedova. Even though LeBron James went off in this game, he had a triple-double. But Dellavedova, with about 4 minutes left in the third, hits a three with an assist from LeBron, and that broke a 67-67 tie to make 70-67 Cleveland. LeBron then gets a layup, and then Shumpert moments later would hit a 20-footer, and then LeBron would go on to score another 7 points. So LeBron scores 9 of the last 11 points for the Cleveland in the third quarter, and it was 81-76 with the Cavs in the lead. Of course, Shelvin Mack hit that three-pointer for Atlanta as he cut the lead down from 8 to make it a 5-point lead for the Cavs, as Atlanta was right there on their heels. But Cleveland ended up going up by as many as 10 points in the fourth quarter. But then Paul Millsap, he just started catching the free throws, catching fouls. Of course, Mike Scott ended up going to the free throw line about a half minute earlier than Millsap, and he hit both. And Millsap hits a couple of free throws. LeBron gets a dunk, and then Millsap ends up going to the line to shoot 3. So Millsap, in about 20 seconds, he hit 5 free throws, and now it was a 2-point game at 95-93. And then Atlanta kept getting to the line. Bazemore would end up hitting 4 free throws over the next minute, from the 5.5 minutes to the 4.5 minute mark. LeBron coming back with a driving layup. And then Bazemore hits a three-pointer, and then J.R. Smith gets a three-pointer with an assist from Dellavedova, and this game was tied at 100. Now going down the stretch and down the wire, Atlanta would jump out to a 4-point lead, 104-100, but then Cleveland would come back and tie the game and send it to overtime. So it's going to overtime, tied up at 104, and then in overtime it was all Jeff Teague, as the rest of the Hawks just could not score. As Teague was going off in this game overall, he had his best game of the series. The way he was playing, you wonder why he doesn't play like this every night. But he was the only Atlanta Hawk to even get a bucket, to get a point in overtime. They just got 1 field goal. He actually hit 4 free throws as well, as he ended up scoring 7 points. But the Cleveland Cavaliers, they were hitting their shots, not so much, but Tristan Thompson with that layup, J.R. Smith with a three-pointer, and then LeBron James hits the 3 after Teague had hit the 3 to go up 111-109. King James gets the 3, goes up by 1 point, and then with 12 seconds left, LeBron gets another 2, and now it's a 3-point game, and the Hawks called the timeout. Shelvin Mack put up a tray, it didn't fall. Millsap got the rebound. Mack put up another one, It didn't fall, and this game came to a close. So the Hawks had a chance to take a game in this series, but they fell just short in overtime. So they forced it to overtime, but now they're down 3-0. They were already pretty much done for, down 2-0 after losing the first two games at home. Is only, the Hawks have never won a series where they lost the first two games. LeBron's never lost a series where he went up the first two games, as he's always won. And now with it being 3-0, no team has ever come back down 3-0 ever. So with that, even the 3-0, now the Hawks are the 118th team to go down 3-0 in a playoff series in NBA playoff history. Of course, over in the other series, the Rockets also down 3-0 as well. But the Hawks, if you gotta think, what would have happened if Horford hadn't dropped that elbow and had actually been in the game and been playing the whole game? Maybe Atlanta actually gets a win. Although, not like it would have mattered anyway. They were going to lose the series. I actually thought they had a chance at the beginning, but after they lost those first two games at home, they said it's next to impossible to lose two games at home and then come back and even, make the series interesting. This game was interesting, but LeBron James just refused to lose as he went off for a triple-double in this game. He had 37 points, 18 rebounds, 13 assists, 3 steals. Dellavedova, 17 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He was 4 for 9 from downtown. Shumpert was 4 for 8 from three-point land. He had 15 points, 7 rebounds, and an assist. J.R. Smith, 3 for 9 from three-point land as well. And he had 17 points off the bench along with 10 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 blocks, with double-double for J.R. Smith. Tristan Thompson, 10 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, 2 blocks. Mozgov, 9 points, 5 boards, 2 blocks. And then also James Jones, he was 2 for 4 from three-point land. He had 9 points, 3 boards, and 5 assists. So the Cavs had 14 three-pointers overall. And for Atlanta, Jeff Teague, 30 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Paul Millsap, 22 points, 9 rebounds, 1 steal. Both Horford and Bazemore had 14 points. Bazemore had 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and a block. Horford in just 19 minutes, 14 points, 4 boards, 1 assist. Said you can only wonder what would have happened if he had actually been on the court the whole time, as they were already down without having Kyle Horford and with DeMarre Carroll actually not being at 100% as he got injured in Game 1. But DeMarre had 10 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. And off the bench, Shelvin Mack, 13 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal. And Mike Scott had 8 points, 9 boards, 2 assists, and a steal. And the Hawks had 11 three-pointers. So the two teams combined for 25 three-pointers as they're putting them up. The Cavs hit 38.9%. The Hawks hit 36.7%. From the field, the Cavs hit 41.2% of their shots. The Hawks hit 40.9%. On the boards, the Cavs dominated 56-42. They had 3 times as many offensive boards, although it was closer on the defensive side. But they had 19 offensive rebounds to just 6 for the Hawks. And for assists, the Cavs had 24 versus 20 for Atlanta. The Hawks did have more steals, though, 9-3. And the Cavs had more blocks, 6-3. So the Cleveland Cavaliers, they win this one, and it was a thriller. It was a nail-biter all the way down to the end. They went all the way to overtime. Of course, once they got to overtime, though, that's when really things got settled, as the Hawks couldn't hit anything. With injured Carroll, no Horford, no Korver. Teague was out there pretty much having to carry the load. He did do a good job putting up them 30 points, but in overtime, he was the only Hawk that scored. No other Hawk scored in overtime, and when only one player scores for your team in overtime, chances are you're going to lose. So the Cavs go up 3-0. Like I said, this series was over after the first 2 games, but it's really over now. Warm up the choir, basically. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, the final score in Game 3, Cleveland 114, Atlanta 111. Thank you very much for listening. It is appreciated. Leave your comments in the comments section below. I hope you're having a good day and had a great weekend, and enjoy all the sports.